Hello and welcome to your Saturday edition of Fleetcast and a brand new series. We are back to reviewing, but we are going to be reviewing Lower Decks. And I am joined by a absolutely stunning new co-host in Jill. Hello, Jill.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself, what games you're on, and what is your favourite topping of pizza?
Okay, so I am the XO on the U.S.S. Mercutio. It was my very first game, and 23 years later, we're still going.
It's amazing that it's 23 years old.
And I can't believe it sometimes. But I play Edra Crow on there, Bajoran, and yeah, I don't. I'm not currently on any other games, especially in OF. And my favorite topping of pizza, it depends on the mood that I'm in, but I do the Hawaiian pizza a fair
Ooh.
amount. I like pineapple on my pizza.
No. There is no judgment on this podcast. I quite like pineapple on my pizza as well, especially if you've got like a spicy ham.
I haven't done spicy ham, just normally just a normal ham, but I'd give that a shot.
Yeah. But we are reviewing something different. So we have done the animated series. That's taken us a year and a half to do. But now we are getting to Lower Decks. And this came out of just a discussion on the last episode of the animated series review, and here we are. We're going to be doing this, and I'm excited because we're going to review them in order, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes. So
we've got it's season 5.
Yes. So there's a yeah, we've got quite a few episodes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this because we've done like the OG Trek animated series, and now we are going to be doing the absolute amazing love letter to Star Trek, because the animated series is it's a love letter to fans. It really is. I don't know if you feel like that, but I feel like every single bit of the animated series was for the original series fans, and this one is for every single fan who has ever watched even an episode of Star Trek.
I agree. I do agree. I didn't watch all of the animated series. I watched obviously the ones that I reviewed.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing a few at the end of the first season and most of the part of the second season that they have.
I don't really count it as a second series because it was 6 episodes.
Yeah. But so I should go back and finish all of it. I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. I think I feel a little bit out of time to say that it's a love letter to the fans, because I don't know the point of view in that time frame.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%.
But I would definitely call Lower Decks that for this, any fan inclusive of the original series.
Yeah.
And everything. It's just, it hits on so many points.
It really
makes
does.
Fun of itself, and I love that.
Okay, so I think for anyone who's joining us who maybe hasn't seen the Lower Decks, I'm going to tell them a little bit about the world of Lower Decks. So, the Lower Decks drops us into the Star Trek universe, but shifts the perspective to the lower deck crew, the ensigns and the junior officers doing the grunt work, while the senior officers handle the galactic diplomacy and the galaxy-saving crisis. And the ship that we are on is the U.S.S. Cerritos, and I can't pronounce this, so I apologise to everyone who's watching this that I have butchered the name.
Cerritos.
Yes, to me it looks really bad, but for anyone who doesn't understand that my brain, I really have a hard time saying some words. There is a northern word called Barnes or Baines. Basically, it's you know how they describe tiny humans, and my brain, even after 10 years being in the northeast of England. I can't say this word because it confuses my brain so much. So I apologize. So do you want to say that word? Do you want to say the ship's name again for me?
The USS Cerritos.
Cerritos. Okay.
Cerritos. Yes.
Cerritos.
Yes.
So I encourage anyone to call out how many times in the comments I possibly get this name wrong. And we're not going to judge me too harsh, maybe.
Not at all.
But, okay, so it's a Californian class vessel tasked with second contact. Instead of making historic first impressions with alien civilizations, they come in after the big heroes and handle the logistics, setting up trade agreements, tech support, updating star charts. And this literally, I feel like, sets the tone for Lower Decks straight away. And the fact that it loves and respects Trek lore, but isn't afraid to basically take the mick out of itself and poke fun at its quirks.
Yeah, and the other part of that is like he also mentions in the very opening part they do they make sure they get the name pronunciations right.
Yes.
They do second contact, which is not nearly as glorious as first contact, and
it's brilliant. It
really is.
It's such a funny concept, and it makes me laugh every single time because we literally, this episode just jumps in and it doesn't stop jumping into things.
No.
For how short the episodes are, they're only what, half an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're easy to watch.
They are such easy watches, but they are literally not afraid to just take the piss out themselves, and I love it because obviously you've got the first episode introduces us to the four main characters, you know, the four main ensigns, each bringing a absolute different flavor and charm to this. We've got Beckett Mariner, who, if you haven't seen us talking about her on Women of Trek, go check that episode out because you will fully understand how amazing this character is.
She really is.
She is. She brings the chaotic good energy to the show. She's wildly competent, but absolutely reckless. And she has such deep knowledge of Starfleet protocols, but she absolutely ignores them. She's basically Kirk if Kirk had zero filter and a love for contraband.
She's and it becomes, I think it's hinted at in the first. She's not an ensign because she just started. So she's got a lot of knowledge.
She's it's
because she's been in it a while.
Yeah, she's been doing this a while. And then we have Brad Boimler, and this character, I have so much love for him. He's the uptight, by the rule, foil to Mariner's a wild streak. He dreams of climbing the Starfleet ranks, but struggles with anxiety and self-doubt. Basically, how I describe him to people, he is basically a picture of Harry Kim's optimism and Barclay's awkwardness.
Well, he hits all my dork signals, and in good ways. And I identify with the rules-oriented side of him.
So much.
I am that way too. I'm like, you can't do that. Why not? Because you can't.
Because
it's not right.
The rules. That's the rules. We have to follow
rules
the rules.
So. Yeah.
It's that
I so identify with that.
It's that moral compass. And then we've got Tavana Tendi, who I absolutely love. She's a fresh-faced Orion medical ensign, brimming with excitement about being on her first ever starship, and every new experience fills her with this childlike joy. And I really love that they didn't take the easy route with this character. They chose an Orion character. They could have chosen any other species, but they decided, oh no, we're going here. We are going to tackle this part of it and make it a whole new character, and I love her.
Yeah. She's the nerdy one. She's science, and her enthusiasm for finding out all the new stuff, or for things that she already knows that she likes, is just brings a smile to my face.
Yes, and
it lights up the room.
And then rounding off, we have our engineering genius in Sam Rutherford. And he's an engineer officer adjusted to his new cybernetic implants. He's hyper focused on technical challenges, but easily flustered by social situations. What did you think of Rutherford?
I like the awkwardness that comes through, and like um seeing him flirt with the one character in this episode um uh is, I guess, just a little bit more outward than you are used to seeing in Star Trek, but not
Yes.
like overly done. It's in a fun way. Um and then by the end you see him and Tendi kind of making that dual relationship there. Like, not necessarily whether it's going to go anywhere or not, but like Boimler and Mariner are a pair, and then
Yeah.
like the two of them, you see them becoming a pair of this foursome.
Yeah. And I love the fact that normally most Trek shows they do three main characters, but we get four beating hearts of lower decks, and I love this episode for the fact it immediately establishes their dynamic of chaotic teamwork and awkward ambition. This first episode, I've seen many reviews for it, and I kind of like the one that says think Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Park and Rec if it was set on a Starfleet. Do you agree with that observation?
I think I do. I've unfortunately, like, Parks and Rec hasn't hit my kind of sense of humor before. I've tried, because I'm a park ranger in
Yes.
real life. I work for a Parks and Rec department, and so I'm like, I need to be watching Parks and Rec, and I've tried, and it just, I haven't been able to get to it. But I think I understand what they're saying. I think I can still agree with that assessment.
Yes. What did you think of the animation style?
Um, it's I don't think I put it into words to myself before. I mean, it's very different, from some of your other mainstream cartoons like Simpsons or South Park
Yeah.
or whatever. I guess it's the same um animator as Rick and Morty, I think,
I
or
kind of got,
same
I kind of,
something
I
as
kind of
Rick
got
and
that same
Morty.
vibe that it's very much like Rick and Morty or Star versus the Forces of Evil. It's
Or
kind
writer,
of,
maybe it's the same writer
it could be.
as them. But I remember reading something where there's a person, they have a person in common behind the scenes.
Okay, so that it could be that they've got a person in common, but I kind of just love it. It's really kind of bold. I've kind of put it as it's very kind of it's bright. It's really bright, and
Lots of
it's
colors, lots of.
yeah. And I feel like it's really capable of selling sincere Star Trek moments. We have a lot of moments later on that are kind of very heartfelt, and I don't think the fact that even though it's bright and it's very expansive, it doesn't take anything away from like some of the moments that we kind of see in this episode, because this is a great episode. Do you want to quickly run through what the story is of this episode?
Okay, so I know I just watched it yesterday, but you're introduced to the characters, obviously. They are working on a second contact with. Do you remember the name of the people or the planet?
Oh, I can never remember them, but I wouldn't say it's
Um,
overly relevant. It's not.
it's a group that kind of looks like pigs, with little Shrek ears. But they are bringing in some supplies that the planet can use. Um, and at the same time, before they go down to the surface, Boimler is told by the captain to keep an eye on Mariner. And then she also says, "Let's keep this between you and me." So it's he's in a little bit of an awkward spot, and he sees her down on the planet like go off on her own, and so he follows and makes some assumptions, because now he's got in his head that she's doing stuff that's wrong, And so he thinks she's selling weapons to these guys, and really she's brought in some supplies that some of the more back backwoods folks can use, is what I understood.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the senior crew comes back while they're coming back. The XO gets a bug bite, and when he gets back onto the ship, it turns into 28 days later.
Zombies! This is why I love this so far. I have been waiting for this moment.
Episode 1 is zombies.
Yes, seriously. When this came out, I was literally. I'm so glad you brought this up because I've been bursting at the seams trying to say this. Okay, so when this came up, my XO on SS Mary Rose was like, "You cannot have zombies." I was like, "But Lower Decks has done zombies," and he was like, "Not every mission can be a zombie-related mission." Paul, I love you, but I just want zombies. I just want zombies. And the fact that they literally went straight into zombies, I was like, yes, justification.
Yes. So zombies all just about take over the ship, but they do start getting a hold on it in sickbay. Rutherford and the other officer that he's flirting with, they do some fighting off of the zombies. Tendi gets into sickbay and is immediately put on strapping down zombies so that they can't attack the new anyone who's not a zombie. And meanwhile, down on the planet, Mariner and Boimler have gotten into a situation where a spider has gotten loose from the folks that Mariner was given those supplies to, and starts seemingly attacking them. It gets a hold of Boimler, but when Mariner talks to the planet folk, they say that he's just gnawing or just teething on it, and is going to wear himself out. So, in hilarious style, like Boimler is just like being put through the ringer, and Mariner is like, "You'll be okay. Just give it some time. They'll wear themselves out, and you'll be just fine." And by the end of it, he's covered in this spider saliva, and goes back and no clothes anymore. He gets clothes from one of the planet folks to wear back up, and it turns out that the saliva that he's got on him is the cure for the zombie disease.
Yes.
So
it's just so funny.
It really is. And in the end, when the captain asks for an update on Mariner, Boimler's now he realizes like not everything is as cut and dry as he was thinking. He's like, I didn't see her do anything, and basically kind of gives her non-committal answers. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. What is your favorite moment of this episode?
Really, I think it's the opening. The captain's log in the little room that he's trying to do by himself, and you don't realize that it's him because it's the very opening scene of the entire series. And they're showing the senior crew as he's voiceover narrating this.
Yeah.
And it kind of freezes, and he goes, "But first contact isn't what we do. We do second contact."
Yes.
And it's all the grunt work and everything. Yeah. And it gets interrupted by Mariner opening the door, but not just Mariner. It's a drunk Mariner. Yeah. And she's been hitting the Klingon whiskey, I think.
I think it was Romulan elk.
Romulan whiskey. It was something whiskey. Yeah. I remember that much. But she promptly drops the bottle and breaks it. She's got a whole bunch of supply of like miscellaneous things that I guess have been dropped on the ship and has been cleaned up. So she's got some random batleth
because she kind of she drunkenly reveals her black market inventory towards, doesn't she? Because she gives like a hidden stash.
Yes, and so she's like play fighting with Boimler, and he doesn't, this is like way over his head. He doesn't play around with this kind of stuff, and so he's like, whoa, and she's like coming at him with it, boom, bang, bang, and then like slices through his thigh, and they have like just a moment where they look at each other and they look at the wound and they look at each other, and it's that delayed response, and then they both freak out, and it goes to the intro, and the intro itself is hilarious.
Right.
Like,
I don't think people
it
understand.
makes fun of the intros of other Star Trek series.
Yeah. Every single series it takes the piss out of. I think this is actually my favorite intro in all of Star Trek because it's such a fun intro. I
Yeah.
thought I really like Discovery's intro. But no, I think this one is it's so funny, and it's the way that you've got the ship, and then you've got aliens, like when you've
It's
got
all these gaps.
yeah, it's just
So it starts off with a black hole, and like the ship is somehow not has gotten itself into a point where it's being sucked into a black hole.
yeah,
It ends up whipping around it and coming out. Then it's coming up into a Borg situation where all the Romulan birds of prey are getting attacked by the Borg, and the Cerritos is like, nope, and
yeah,
nopes it out of there. And then it's the alien sucking on
yeah. That's
warp the warp nacelles. And my favorite part of that is that like as it's going through, and it took me like 3 episodes to realize that the eyeballs focus on the camera after like a few seconds,
yeah.
and
It's just such a fun show.
it is.
My favorite moment is it's to be fair, I've got the black market inventory tour because I love it. It's such a rapid fire info dump that doubles as like an absolute hilarious homage to deep Trek lore, but it's literally
Yes.
delivered at such a breakneck speed with wild energy that you kind of don't realize. But then obviously I think it's got to be the zombie virus outbreak. It's mid episode. The ship has just absolutely descended into an out of control epidemic, and it's both ridiculous and completely absurd. I kind of, when I was on my notes, I've put kind of think classic Trek crisis, but with more screaming, slime, and comedic timing. It kind of just lets the show flex its action comedy muscles without ever losing like anything from the scene. It's just so funny. But then it's the fact that Rutherford's date is on a date during the shipwide emergency. And Rutherford kind of casually tries to maintain a normal, awkwardly adorable date with another crew member. It was the calm, polite conversation that was happening,
Yes.
and it just plays perfectly, making it one of the funniest moments of this show because it sums up this character so much. He is so calm, but he's so awkward, and I
Yes.
just was like, oh my goodness. Like, you can imagine it after like it's all done and they're back in their corridor racks, their corridor bunk beds, and they're having the conversation over it, and he was just like trying to explain it, and you can see that Mariner will probably be trying to perk him up, and Tendu would be like, oh, it's okay, and Boimler would be like, what do you mean you didn't respond to the shipwide emergency? Like, you could literally just imagine that dynamic, and I'm just like, oh, he's so cute.
Yes.
So cute.
Yeah. There was another part when when Tendi first gets on the ship and Mariner's showing her around, and they come up to the map of the ship, and it's like it's confusing even for them. Like for years, we've all like looked at these maps and tried to figure out what they mean, and now come to find out, even the officers don't know how to read the
It's so
maps. And
funny.
I love maps, but those things can be hard to read
It's
sometimes.
just so funny how like some of just the jokes that are in this, um
Hmm.
and I just that final moment between Mariner and the senior officer like kind of hints at something more beneath her kind of rebellious act, and it kind of gives us such a hint to what stories are going to be told.
Yeah. I will say also, I thought that not suspense, but the revelation of who Mariner was, I didn't think it was the end of the first episode. I thought it was farther into the
It
series.
is, yeah. I didn't expect anything to happen, but I do kind of love the dynamic. Um, it's interesting because obviously we're going to be doing it episode by episode, just to kind of see how it changes. Because obviously I watched it when it first came out. I haven't actually seen the season 5, so hopefully by that time
Me neither.
I would have caught up, or I might just wait until we're doing these episodes, and watch them. But I kind of want to talk about when did you say you watched it when it first came out?
I did. Maybe not like immediately, but I
Yeah.
watched it pretty close to when it started. But I had to watch it again last night because I hadn't seen it since, and I really needed the recap.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, but like you said, it's very easy. It's
Oh yeah.
very easy kind of watching. Um, and I kind of just
By the time the ending comes up, you're like, oh gosh, that's it already?
yeah,
Because I mean, we're just all so used to 1 hour episodes. That's what Star Trek has always seemed to be.
yeah,
So
because obviously
I think, yeah,
I think this is very different from the animated series though. I find that the animated series, I feel like episodes were always missing something because I feel like they always wrote the episodes as an hour episode and then they had to cut them down for this 25 minute episode.
yeah,
But
yeah,
with Lower Decks, I don't ever feel like we're missing something from the episodes. I feel like they
no.
were specifically wrote with 30 minutes in mind. And there was no need to kind of, it tells an inclusive story without missing anything. If that makes
Correct.
sense.
Oh yeah.
But as we always do with these episodes, what do you think of this class of ship? Because it's very unusual. Because California
Yeah.
kind of because you also don't get ensigns and obviously crewmen and all that. They don't have their own rooms. They're in
Oh,
corridor beds,
I
aren't
felt like
they?
that was another nod to like how much they're underappreciated, being that they've got bunks that are in a main corridor where people are coming to and from the showers. And it's like, sure, we'll just stick them by the shower so that they
But
get to see everyone in their towel.
but even like I felt it was very kind of Battlestar Galactica. Have you ever seen Battlestar
Yeah,
Galactica? Yeah, where they've got the bunk
yeah,
room and they're all in
yeah,
there. You know, but it kind of felt even more open because then they're not even in like their own little room; they are in the corridor.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So there's like no personal room.
it does make sense. It does literally
Hmm.
make sense with
Especially
how
on a small ship like that.
yeah, it does make sense. But I love the California class. I think it's so quirky, and it kind of just so fits the crew of
It
the
just
lower deck.
it does look like an oddball ship because it doesn't flow like, say, the Enterprise D.
Yes,
The Enterprise D has a very flowing design.
yeah,
It looks like a wave, whereas Cerritos is very edgy and like all of the points that join to another part of the ship look very uh angled
yeah,
and stark. So it looks like something you'd get out of something that was maybe TOS era.
yeah. It does feel very much like it. But I'm excited. Do you want to give your score out of 5?
Well, I wanted to point out one more thing first
Okay,
with the class of the starship, and it
okay,
was something that I noticed. This time, I don't think I noticed it on my first watch. If you look in Mariner's office, I mean, no, the captain's office,
yeah.
um, there is a tattered flag of the state of California in it, and so it's like,
Ah,
yeah, that's why it's California class, so it's a California state flag, but it's in tatters. And it's kind of like, is this like what they think of this ship? Like, Starfleet in general? Is that what they think of this ship's mission or something?
Yeah.
It almost seems like a message because they keep harping on how they're not getting the big juicy
Yeah.
missions and all of that stuff, and so it's like it just fits in with the whole uh, uh, setting that they're building.
Yeah.
And I thought
It's
it was amusing.
yeah. It's the ship is. It's an interesting concept. It really is, and as we kind of review more episodes, I think more things will come out around this class of ship and just more Easter eggs and things like that because this episode just had so many Easter eggs in it. You know, you've got I'm trying to think. You've got the buffer time versus Scottish rule. You know, Boimler talks about estimated time to complete task accuracy, while Mariner implies padding time estimates for team glory. And this is kind of a nod to Scotty, to Montgomery Scott, who did this in Star Trek 3. And you've got Boimler who mentions the naked time, where the crew is infected by the virus that removes their inhibitions. You know,
Yeah.
there are just so many Easter eggs in
Yes.
this. Like you said, you know, the Cerritos belongs to the Californian class, and I kind of just love that future. You know, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but the ships that we meet along the way are Californian cities, and the class doesn't exist in prior Star Trek lore. So I love the fact that it was just designed for this
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. I agree. It gives it its own niche,
Yeah,
and what's what makes it work is the knowledge that there does have to be these kinds of missions that are not as glorious
yeah,
for like and everything we've ever seen is all of the things that get all of the attention because that's how you keep an audience
yeah,
watching.
yeah.
But if you think about it a few layers deeper, then this kind of ship has to exist
It
in
has
order
to.
to keep things running.
It has to, and that's kind of why I
And
like the
the lower
episode.
decks has to exist in
Yeah,
order to keep a ship running.
yeah,
It's just
100%.
never the part that gets any attention.
And that's kind of why I
And
like the Star Trek: The Next Generation episode Lower Decks, because you see that. You literally see that, and I love the fact that we've now got a 5-season series that focuses purely on that concept. And I will
yes,
keep shouting lower decks, lower decks, lower decks for
can
that
I
reason.
interrupt with something a little bit more sombering?
Yes.
Did you hear that we lost Nurse Ogawa?
I did.
I was so sad to
I
hear about
posted
that.
it because I thought, oh,
Okay.
yeah, no,
I loved her every time she was on an episode of Next Generation.
yeah,
She was just always so bright and smiley and yeah, I was sad to
she was
see
such
that.
a good character, and obviously such a good nurse for Beverly Crusher. But yeah, it's such a sad timing. Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
good actress.
Anyways, I just wanted, since we brought up Lower Decks
Yeah, it
episode.
was, yeah, no, and I think people forget that a lot of those characters, that they have existed, and they have appeared in the Next Generation, because the Next Generation, for all its faults, did do lower deck characters very, very well.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think I'm gonna have to give my this episode, a score of 5 out of 5, because I think it was one of those perfect episodes where everything comes together. You know, Second Contact as an episode, as a concept, I think it's brilliant, and it gets 5 out of 5 from me.
Yeah, I think I do the same.
Okay, so this is
It's kind of hard to.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I could go be talked into 4.5 just because you want to see,
We can do point fives.
but it's hard to know how that episode could be better in it
Yeah,
within itself.
I don't
Um,
think it could, to be fair.
so I'll stick with 5. I'll stick with 5,
Okay.
but yeah, it's just it sets the tone. it's a great opener that introduces everybody, or at least the main characters.
Yeah.
I think we get a better introduction of some of the other characters as we go along, but
Yeah. But this episode
yeah.
does very much do sort of the 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 core characters. We kind of get the core characters
Hmm.
out of the way and kind of see what their niches are.
Yeah, yeah, and it's got action, um, and yeah, it's just I don't know how you could make it better.
I don't think you can, but the second episode of season 1 is called Envoys. So
Hmm.
I haven't actually seen the episode since it first came out. So I'm excited to see what I can remember of this
I ended up
episode.
watching it last night with the other one just because I didn't turn it off, so it advanced to the second one, and I'm like, all right, um, and yeah, it's yeah, it's great. We'll
But,
get to it.
but yes, so the next episode from us is going to be Envoys. The next episode on Women of Trek, which should be out next week, is going to be on Deanna Troi, because we didn't get to do our live episode because we were too tired. Me and Thebes, we did too much at
Oh
Cenicon.
yeah,
We did far too much.
imagine that.
We were so tired. We were so tired. It was unreal. But it was absolutely amazing couple of days. But we were so tired. Like we
I got it.
we literally sat on my well, Sophie, we kind of sat on in my living room and we watched Charmed because
Oh, nice.
we were just so tired. But yes, so the next week's episode is going to be Women of Trek, and we're going to be talking about Deanna Troi, so that should be interesting. But from
Yeah.
me, stay lovely, stay logical, and Jill, have you got anything else that you want to add before we close up?
Not really. I don't have other podcast stuff going on, so
Okay,
just gonna
so it's
say keep it cool, I guess.
yes. Until next time, stay lovely, stay logical, and catch you on the flip side. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Vastness of the stars we